Hello, and welcome to Future Leaders in Philadelphia. I'm your host, Derrick Sawyer. We bring you this show so we can highlight young people in our community and local organizations who are striving to make Philadelphia a better place. Our focus is our community's next generation of leaders. Today, we're talking with some LaSalle University students from the school's only co-ed fraternity, Epsilon Sigma Alpha, ESA, as it's commonly called. Works with various charities and organizations, including St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and Pennsylvania SPCA. With me to start our program are two leaders of LaSalle's ESA group. Katie DeBello, president, is a junior biology major, and Victor Fun is ESA's vice president and a junior math and computer science major. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Biology and math, those are pretty hard subjects.
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess the fraternity piece is kind of easy, huh?
Parts of it, yeah.
After that, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about ESA. What is that?
So ESA, like you said, is a co-ed community service fraternity, and even though we're a fraternity, one of the things we focus on mainly is community service. So we really try to distance ourselves a little bit from other fraternities and sororities and Greek life such as that, and we work really closely with Focus, which is like the LaSalle Community Service organization. And basically our main goal is to just have our members do some community service.
So why community service?
It's just especially in Philadelphia where there's so much happening in the city and a lot of places where we can help. And I think definitely with the LaSallian mission, it's something that all our members really feel passionately about.
Yeah. ESA is a national organization.
Yeah.
How did it come to LaSalle?
So ESA was, our chapter of ESA at LaSalle was founded in 2012 by a girl named Amy Esselman, and actually started out as a sorority, as only girls, and then they decided that they would make it co-ed because it was really the only service organization at LaSalle at the time, at least one of the bigger ones. So it gave the opportunity for everyone to participate.
Great. So when you think about leadership, right, service is one of the key components. What was it about service that what made you decide to join ESA?
I mean, I've been involved in a lot of community service. Throughout high school, I was in the Community Service Corps. So I knew that community service was something that I wanted to be involved in college. And I also really enjoyed the social aspect of ESA, combining that with the service, because I became friends with everyone in the organization and got to do community service, which I'm passionate about, with my friends. So I think that's what drew me to ESA.
So did you know about ESA before you came to LaSalle, or did you find out once you got here?
I found out once I got here, yeah.
And
I had never heard of ESA before. Actually, my friend that lived next to me in the dorms was part of ESA, and he kind of recruited me and a bunch of my friends to come check it out and see if it'd be something we were interested in doing. And it
Gotcha.
kind of.
How did you hear about ESA?
Yeah, I heard through the same friend.
Oh, he's a good recruiter.
Yeah, he got a lot of us who were, I guess we were all sort of friends at the time, and he sort of just roped us all in, and here we are now.
Stuck for life, right? Well, they have more than one area of service. So what are some of the different service areas that ESA works in?
So we work with the Philadelphia Spark, which is an organization for people with mental disabilities or on the spectrum. And one of the events we do is we go every month. They have a dance on the first Friday.
Right.
And we sort of just go and interact with people and have fun and help serve food. And some other things we do is we work at the Pennsylvania SPCA and help care for the animals and care around the facility. And one of the future organizations we're trying to work with is the Paul House, which is a home for transitional men who are currently homeless or looking to get off the streets. And we would be doing things such as helping around the facility and talking to the men and just helping them in general.
Do you search out these organizations, or do they search you out?
I think it happens a little bit of both ways.
Yeah.
We talk a lot with Sean Hutchinson, who's a part of Focus, to find opportunities for us, but also our own members might have organizations where they need help. For example, we found out about the Pennsylvania SPCA from the organization Circle K. So it's sort of just we find things, and if other people find things where we can help, we do what we need to.
And it's also based on member interest, so depending on who in the community the members want to serve, we might go searching for organizations that could use our help.
That's great because you have some say in what's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So have you started the recruiting process? How many people have you recruited in the ESA?
So this semester we have 7 pledges, so we'll have 7 new members. We had a really big class last semester. I think it was about 16. I could be off a little bit, but we started off when I joined. ESA was really small, and it's grown a lot since I've been a part of it. So now we probably have around 40 active members.
Right.
When I joined, I'd say there were probably only like 20. So
and you're the president.
Yes.
He's the vice president. So how did that come about?
Well, last year was my first year on e-board. I was the John Quill chair, which is kind of like a social chair. At the time, it was more of like a ceremonial position.
Gotcha.
So I didn't do too much, but I also, just being a part of e-board, I became a lot more passionate about ESA. And because of that, I just thought I could be president. I could do more. Like, I want to do as much as I can and just make our organization as great as I possibly can.
That's great. And you became vice president how?
Yeah.
She twisted your arm?
I mean, I did tell him that I wanted him to be my vice president, but.
It was a similar position as Katie, as I served on the e-board last year as the service chair, and I wanted to continue my work there. And I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but Katie did twist my arm. So.
That's kind of good. So I have one kind of off-the-cuff question. When you're in a leadership role with a organization or fraternity, as you know, people just volunteer to be part of that fraternity or whatever. What are your challenges that you see as a leader? It's because it's not like they're getting paid, right? So that presents a different leadership challenge. So what would you say is your biggest leadership challenge leading a fraternity?
I think the biggest challenge is just to get everyone involved, because we have a lot of members, but just trying to get everybody to come to the meetings, everybody to do the service projects, because a lot of our service projects are off campus. So you kind of have to build up that morale, coordinate that, but then also get people excited about doing the service opportunities.
Yeah, especially since I feel like a lot of our members are very extracurricular and go out of their way to do different things. So a lot of us are very busy, and just trying to find service opportunities that everyone can do is just a big challenge for us. But I think we're working on it pretty well. So.
Great. St. Jude's Research Hospital. That's one of your biggest organizations.
Yes.
What do you guys do with them?
So every year at the Philadelphia Zoo, they have a walk. So most of the service that we do for St. Jude is fundraising, so the walk is probably our biggest fundraiser because everybody has to pay money to sign up for the walk. And then it also is just bringing awareness, because anytime you're walking around an area, you're bringing awareness towards that cause. And then also we make cards for the kids in the hospital, and we've done a lot of fundraising. It's mostly fundraising because St. Jude is based in Tennessee, so it's not something that we can physically go to do. I know there are other St. Jude hospitals, but the main one is in Tennessee. I think there's one in New York as well, but it's still not feasible for us to go there, so we do as much as we can from a distance.
Are there any requirements to be part of ESA?
So we have a pledge process, and we require the members pay dues to help for the national chapter and to help support our chapter. But we also have things like tests and such as that, but as a whole, I don't think they're that.
It's really not hard.
It's
the test is a little bit of ESA history, but nothing crazy. Basically, if you want to be a part of ESA, you can be a part of ESA.
If you want.
Sure. And then once you're a member, we do require members to keep up a certain amount of service hours, just so that we know that everyone's being active.
Well, that's what you're there for, right?
Yeah.
So what's the difference between your fraternity versus a regular Greek fraternity, or if there is?
I'm not a member of a Greek life, so this is just all speculation.
Right.
I feel like our focus is less on the social aspects and things such as that, and we try to focus more on service, and I think the big events we do are always service related. So we'll try and say we have like an event on this day, which is like community service with like the ARC or something like that. So I think the difference between us and other Greek life is just, I think we put ourselves as a community service organization first.
Yeah. While maybe it's like switched for most Greek life where they're like a social thing first and then do some service, where a service thing and then have some social.
Right. What would you say is the biggest impact on each of you by providing community service? So I know that has to have an impact on your life because you're so passionate about it. So what would you say the biggest impact on your life is by providing community service?
That's a good question. I think for me, like the biggest impact is just when you're done helping people and just having that sense of like gratification from them that you took out of your time and not being paid or not doing it for any other reason, just to help.
Right, from your heart, right?
Yeah, and just like knowing that you did something and helped someone just because like you wanted to help someone, I think that's the biggest impact for me.
Yeah, I think for me it's very similar. I think just the fulfillment you get from helping others, and especially when you're doing work with other people, like the relationships that you can form with people and their gratitude that they have for your help is honestly the best part for me. Just how thankful people are, like after you're done
really
doing the job and you leave, they do really appreciate it.
Well, those are people in need, and they probably don't expect someone that's willing to help them out, so I could see where they would be grateful. If I was part of an organization, could I request to be part of your fraternity or get help from your fraternity? How would that go? How would I go about doing that?
Yeah, so I think that's something we've definitely taken a big initiative with this semester, is helping other organizations and partnering with them. So a lot of the times we'll hear about an organization who needs help and we'll reach out to them, but we've also had people reach out to us. So I think it's sort of just getting in contact with us, and we're always eager to help, so.
That's great.
Yeah, since this is the first semester that we're part of Focus, which is like all of the service organizations, and it's kind of like we have the manpower and they have the opportunities. Right. So we've definitely done a lot of reaching out to them.
Perfect partnership. Right? Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show. You two are definitely future leaders, and look forward to your future work.
Thank you.
When we come back, we're going to hear from the Epsilon Sigma Alpha leaders who head up the social aspect of the organization. Stay with us.
Wake each morning and get lost in the adventure, knowing that you will be ready for wherever the day takes you. Learn from those willing to teach. Their wisdom and their strength will become yours. They will impart to you a tradition of education nationally recognized for its value. A tradition worthy of your best efforts. As young men and women of LaSalle, we will invest in you the guidance to blaze your own path, to go forth into the unknown with new certainty, to realize your full potential as professionals, as leaders, as citizens. To take up your place as the accountants, speech therapists, journalists, and CEOs of your generation. to impact this city and the world beyond. These adventures are yours, and you are ready for them. Explorers are never lost.
Welcome back to Future Leaders of Philadelphia. I'm your host, Derrick Sawyer. Today we're highlighting some of the service opportunities available to LaSalle University students. Our guests are from the school's only co-ed service fraternity, Epsilon Sigma Alpha. Please welcome Selena B. Mack, a junior history major who runs recruitment, and Kate Donahue, a junior English and communications major who serves as social chair for the group. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Great
Social
to be here.
chair for the group, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a hard job?
Well, it depends on how social you want the
group to be.
The group to be, yeah.
Gotcha.
Right now I'm planning the
Formal?
the formal. There we go.
Black tie?
Yeah, it's a
Semi-formal.
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 Not a gala, but it's something that, since we do a lot of service and we are a fraternity and we do pay dues, we have a formal, and it's something that's fun that everyone can do together.
Right.
And so I'm planning that right now. And then I also plan socials, so I'm hoping after spring break to have like a trivia night. I think
So you're
that
like a
would be
party
a lot of
planner.
fun. What?
You're like a party planner.
Kind of, but not.
Not quite.
Yeah, I guess so.
Give or take, right?
Yeah.
How did each of you become involved with ESA?
So that's me. I'm the recruitment chair, so I'm in charge of recruiting new members. So at the beginning of each semester, we start very early on in the semester because we want to get new people in as soon as possible before everyone starts joining other
That's right,
groups
right.
and other stuff. We want them involved in our organization. So we target like the activities fair, and sometimes we like table in the union to get like people interested in us, and then they sign up, and ESA hosts, and I plan a recruitment week. So we get food for them because people love food. They always come to get food, and different activities so they can get to know each other, and then that's how they can join. And then from there on out, it's a semester-long process where I will teach them about like the history of the organization and some of the things that we do, and then they orchestrate, like all of the new members per semester, they orchestrate their own service project.
Nice.
So it's something that I help them plan, but it's also their own ideas. So we work on it together, and it can be for any organization that they want to work with. So like last semester, they held a candy bar sale, which is easy because people love candy,
Right.
and it's easy to buy, and they raised a lot of money for Puerto Rico. So that
Nice.
was really good for the hurricane relief.
So when they get a chance to decide, it's easy to get that buy-in, right?
Yeah, and I give them ideas early on so they can start thinking about it, because
Right.
it takes a while to plan a service project, but it's something that's good because it gets them actively involved in planning it, and so it gets them excited for when they really start actively participating in a lot of the service opportunities that we have.
What would you say your biggest challenge in recruitment is?
Recruitment, a lot of times it's getting people to show up to things, I think, because people are busy, and I totally understand that and I want to respect that, but at the same time it's like, you need to show up so I can teach you about ESA, and I can also help you with your service project,
Right.
things like that. But people are usually good about that. It's a fun time, it's a fun job, so.
How is your group different than other service opportunities on campus?
I think having that social aspect, that really is unique, because it's one thing to go and do some type of like justice-oriented activity or service-based activity with people that you don't know, but you develop a bond
Right.
and relationships, and I think that makes it an even more special opportunity. And I know sometimes it can be awkward if you're going to, like, say we are visiting DePaul House, like not necessarily a place you might want to go by yourself, but going with a group that you know makes it easier, and it makes it more of a comfortable situation.
Why is this social aspect so important?
I think it, like Selena said, it creates a bond, and I think that bond really keeps everyone coming back and gets people more invested in the organization and more invested in doing service.
What type of social activities do you have?
So it depends.
Yeah.
So like if I'm planning a recruitment week event, we have done different games and that kind of like icebreaker games to get people to work in groups and bond with each other. We've done trivia games, which is like a big favorite. People love trivia games and they love to win.
Yeah.
We've just done other social things. Like at the end of the year, we do something for our seniors when they graduate. I used to be the social chair. Now recruitment. So when they graduate, we do stuff for them. So a lot of our meetings too have an element of social aspect because we're there to talk about like here's what we have coming up and where we're going to go, but also still socializing with each other.
And we do have like bigs and littles in the organization because we are a fraternity and we have Greek letters, and I think that also adds to getting people involved and keeping everyone around because then you get to know more people. And Selena's actually my big.
Yeah, and it's kind of like having like a mentor, that type of figure there to kind of guide you along the process.
So how were you recruited?
So I was recruited, so Katie and Victor, I was recruited with that group. Our friend Leo kind of got a bunch of us at the same time because we were all freshmen at the time.
I hope he's on your team because he's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, he is. We were all freshmen at the time and he was a sophomore. And we were looking for more to get involved with, and he kind of moved us in that direction. And so it was nice because we joined in a big group and we all had each other to join together with. And so I think that feeling of togetherness has always been there.
Right.
And then Kate joined after us.
I joined last year. I was a sophomore. And our friend Jackie, she's also on the e-board with us. She's secretary. And she was telling me about it because I was looking for more things to be involved with, and I really did want to do some service to try to give back, but I was unsure of like what to do, where to start, and then Jackie told me about ESA and how it was more of it had a social aspect of it, but you also did service, and so that really appealed to me, and so I went and joined, and then got Selena as my big.
So you talked about wanting to give back. What prompts you to have that feeling to want to give back?
I don't know. I think I've gone to Catholic school all my life, and I've been raised in a very Catholic home, and so I think I just was raised and brought up with a sense of if you have something, if you are privileged, you should give back in some way or any way that you can.
Great. Selena?
I feel a little bit the same. Like if you come from a place of privilege, you need to give back in the way you can. But I also think there are a lot of injustices in the world and people who are in a place of privilege, like myself, need to do work to correct in whatever way they see fit. And ESA is kind of like an outlet for that in a way for me. I think there's definitely a lot more to be done out there, and a lot more that ESA can do in the future. But I think that's definitely a start for us.
Right. So both of you are juniors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next year you're seniors, and then it's time to go off to the workforce. How does this fraternity help you prepare for your after college experience?
Well, as someone who does history, and I also do communication, I think being in a leadership role, especially as being a part of the ESA, has helped me really hone in on my communication skills, which is like, to me, like communication is key. That's like what leadership is to me in a way. I mean, I think leadership's ambiguous and it can be a lot of things, but I think communication is one of those things. So having those skills to be able to communicate efficiently and effectively and to think critically, I think ESA has really helped me hone those skills.
Great. So what would you say your communication style is?
My communication style, I'm very open.
Right.
I speak a lot, but I speak my mind.
Right. Well, it's good because you want people to know what you feel. You don't want it to be ambiguous. So that's a good thing, I think, especially from a leadership perspective.
Thank you.
And you?
I definitely think that being in a leadership position has given me, I don't know, leg up for going out into the workforce. But I think ESA has just not even the opportunities that's been given, it's more of the kind of getting out of your comfort zone to go help others, and also getting out of your comfort zone just in general, and that's helped me just become more comfortable with like who I am, and then like going out and doing interviews for an internship or something like that.
What careers do you have in mind?
Well, we're a long way from there, but for me, I'm more in the realm of public history, so a lot of museum work, because I work at a historic home now, so maybe something like that.
Yeah, and for me, I'd like to go into PR or some type of publishing, and so being a social chair for this organization has helped with like organizing some things of like PR.
Was it difficult to balance the school life with the fraternity life?
I think there's definitely a challenge there, trying to balance school with extracurriculars, especially since we are on the executive board, but it's a commitment, and so we have to learn to balance that, and because we make that commitment, it's a responsibility, just like when I take a class, that's a responsibility of mine as well. So I think in some ways it's difficult, but in other ways I think it's not that hard to find a balance.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
So you have one opportunity to tell someone why they should join your fraternity. What would you say?
I think, especially to any students at LaSalle that might be listening to this, it's get involved now and get involved early and pick something that you are going to be really passionate about, and I think that's something that ESA can be for a lot of people.
Great. Well, I want to thank you both for coming on the show. You're going to be great future leaders in the future, and I look forward to good things from you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. I'd like to thank all my guests from LaSalle's Epsilon Sigma Alpha Service Fraternity. If you would like to find out more about the Student Service Program at LaSalle, visit lasalle.edu and go to the Student Life section. You can also contact ESA by emailing them at lasalleesa@gmail.com. I'm Derrick Sawyer. Thank you for watching Future Leaders in Philadelphia, where we believe investing in our youth is investing in our future.